space the final frontier?
Nope, we're talking about cryptozoology.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Nope, the show that isn't about superheroes or Marvel or DC, but is hosted on absolutely Marvel and DC, where I get down with my friends and we have fun discussions. And out of the blue, based on a one-off joke, we have started a weekly cryptozoology discussion show.
I thought this was a joke when he told me this is what we were filming this morning. It's only this moment that I realized we're really doing a cryptozoology show.
I mean, that doesn't mean it's not a joke still. I mean, let's be honest.
So you may notice there's no Sal today. Sal is actually sick today. So I thought it'd be fun to grab Dan from our former Tales of Earth show.
That's me.
And our new co-host, Hassan. So the rules of the show are simple. I'm going to ask you if you believe in this creature at the beginning. I'm going to go over explaining the creature and any potential new appearances that we've had. And then I'm going to ask you again, do you think it's real? Okay?
Okay.
All right.
But today's creature is not a mythological beast. It's not something that you may already know about. It's not Loch Ness or Bigfoot or aliens. Today we're going to talk about a recent discovery that is currently being debated if it is real, cryptozoology, or if it's just a fluke of nature. But this creature has not been seen. Okay, like, think about that for one moment. There is a scientific community that truly believes this creature is real, but no one has seen it. And recently has popped back up in the news. This creature has existed for about 15 years that we know about, that we have found it, okay? And recently has popped back up as the loneliest whale on the earth because they're making a movie about him now.
The loneliest whale. Okay, first off, I'm not that fat. And people have seen me for at least 30 years now. That's just rude.
So before
A loneliest whale?
yes,
Like
what
an
do you think?
actual whale. Okay.
Well, maybe, could be.
I think I actually have. I think I've seen some things about this.
have
I
you?
have not. This hasn't stumbled my neck of the woods yet.
I think I have.
Okay, so this whale is called 52 Hertz. Okay, so
Like the monitor.
So a blue whale during its migration pattern has a specific hertz that it will do its calls out at, its mating calls and its calls to discuss like traveling with other members of its, family and stuff like that. And I think they're called pods with whales.
Okay.
52 hertz puts out a vocalization at a 52 hertz level.
That's what it. Oh, okay. I'm just kidding. Obviously. that's
While
what
normal
it
blue
was.
whales do it at a 10 to 39 hertz level.
Okay.
So no other blue whales can hear this blue whale's call at all.
That is pretty lonely.
Okay?
That's sad.
So this creature has existed that we know of for many years because whales live very long lives. And scientists found the 52 hertz whale. It has been detected as early as, according to this, the 1980s, so more than 15 years.
That is much more than 15.
But it
years,
has been
yes.
found sporadically since then, as new as currently as 2010. But the reason it came back up recently, because this is like a little bit more outdated, I believe around 2019, 2020, they found it again.
Okay. Do we have a sound, an audio file? Because I know I said the whales normally go, "Whoa," so I want to hear what this one sounds like.
Yes, we do.
Because I assume we've got a
Wow.
recording.
I'm trying to get it, the thing. It's on the wiki. You can hear his actual call. So there are characteristics of the migration pattern of it, which is following that of a blue whale. Okay?
Oh, is it those like yellow dots?
That's the image. Right beneath that, you'll see an audio file you can play, and you can hear it.
Okay, I'm gonna click that.
Let's hear it. 52 hertz, the whale.
52 hertz, the whale. And I'm sorry for live stream viewers, we can't play this here. We have no way to do so, but... So no other blue whale calls out in this nature.
I need to look up a regular
Interesting.
just for context. I'm looking that up.
Moving forward with the story of this whale before we get into the cryptozoology portions of this, okay? They believe that it is a blue whale because it follows a migration pattern of blue whales. But since they haven't seen it, they haven't found it, they don't know. They're assuming it's not in a pod and it's just a lonely solo migratory blue whale. is what the assumptions are now. We don't know if this is a evolution of blue whales or if this is a mutation of blue whales. But this is the only blue whale, and I guess they have some way to know that it's the same blue whale making the same call, searching for a mate or a pod or somebody to go with.
Interesting.
They know all of that, but they couldn't get a picture of the guy?
No, exactly.
They're like,
You know
we
what?
know his literal migration pattern. So you're telling me you know where he goes, but you can't like find him?
Let's be fair though. Let's be fair. I will give them on this one. The ocean's pretty darn big and is pretty darn deep, and I know that there's stuff that can't go deep enough, and you can't see very far in the water, so I will give them that on
That's
this
fair.
one.
I do
Because it's
hate
not
the
like the
ocean.
Loch Ness where it's like, oh, this is a singular piece of water where
Yeah, this is
like,
the ocean. This thing migrates around
Yeah.
the ocean. So
Okay.
now we start going into where it gets a little more interesting. So the assumption is that this is a creature, this is a blue whale, right? According to this, it travels far north all the way to the Kodiak Islands and as far south as California, swimming between 70 to 30 kilometers each day. Recorded distance traveled per season ranges to a low 708 kilometers to a high 11,000 kilometers. So this thing is moving pretty quickly. I mean, how are you going to track a blue whale, Hassan? One. So you're not getting like, it's not like we're trying to find like a whole pod of them. You're trying to find one whale in the ocean.
That's fair.
Plus-
That's fair. But
You
what
also
is-
technically don't know if it's the one you're looking for
Yeah.
until it makes the sound as well.
it's like not even a whale. It's just not
just some guy.
who's on a boat who's going in a very specific route, and they're like, "This is the migration pattern of a blue whale." I don't know I don't know what research a scientist has done to confirm this. He's just saying that.
So the
I have to
scientists
believe
at
him.
the Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution have not been able to identify the specific species of the whale. So the belief that it's a blue whale, we're already starting to throw out the window. They state that it could be a malformed or blue whale hybrid, or it could just be a different form of whale. They also are debating if this frequency was created because the whale is deaf. The frequency is so out of the whack that no other blue whales can hear it. So he's just calling out into the ocean for anything that can hear him.
I mean, I could see that. Like, if it's deaf, because, yeah, I mean, they understand, like, the general sound, but not the exact sound. That
Right.
makes... Okay. They don't realize that they're just squealing at a high-pitched voice. Hey, guys, where is everybody?
The biological
what I
cause
picture.
underlies its unusual high-frequency voice does not seem detrimental to its survival, as they've been tracking it now since the 80s all the way up until now. The fact that the whale has survived and apparently matured indicates that it's probably healthy. Still, its unique call is the only one of its kind detected anywhere in the world, and there is only one such source per season. Because of this, the animal has been called the loneliest whale in the world.
That's very depressing. Like start to finish, just a sad situation, and I could see why they're making movies about this.
Well, so there is, and I infamously cannot say the word, but there's a documentary, God dang it,
Documentary.
documentary of this whale coming out, and that's why it's gotten more recent, because the guy doing the documentary is trying to find it. Okay?
As well as a Taiwanese movie titled 52 Hertz, I Love You. I'm not
Yeah,
kidding.
The Loneliest Whale, The Search for 52 is the one that's coming out, which has kind of got it back into the zeitgeist of being discussed. So
Okay.
I then was like, okay, well, we don't know if this is a whale. They have said that. They assume it's a whale.
Right.
So
Right.
I was like, what about the tinfoil hat people? What do they think?
What if it's a megalodon? The Meg,
mean-
back in the news one more time. Man.
So obvious theories. This is possibly an alien. Okay.
Obviously.
An
What
alien
else would it
being
be?
that is just swimming throughout our oceans. There is discussions of it being like a Loch Ness style monster. It's a lot harder to find these discussions because, simply put, everyone generally believes that it's a blue whale. But even though the scientists state they're not sure,
Right.
this is believed that this is a blue whale.
Dude,
Well,
I think it's a
'cause-
fucking dragon. Just throw a wrench into everything we've ever known about mankind.
it's
Everything
a
that's ever
dragon.
goddamn happened. They're just like, dude, that thing has wings and it breathes fire. I don't know what that was. I don't know why it's been swimming for 30 years, but it's scary. I can't wait. That's
It
my
poked
dream.
its head out, and it was like, "Rah!" But it was at
Fang
52 hertz, and I
boom.
couldn't hear it.
They like contact the writers of Godzilla. Did you know? Is that what this was? Were you writing about real life?
My favorites are that this is the biblical level whale. This is the one that ate Jonah. Okay.
I mean, I think that would be much older than 80 or 90 years.
Maybe it's been quiet since biblical time.
Because I looked up the lifespan, and they're estimated at 80 to 90 years for a blue whale. But okay, you know what?
I thought you said I looked at the lifespan of the Bible. It was longer than 80 to 90 years ago. I don't know why you would have said that. Interesting.
What do you guys think that this thing could be, though? What is your theories on it?
It's a fucking whale, man. No, I think it's a whale. I think it's probably just. I think that there's more than that. I think they always do this thing where they're like, it's a lonely creature who's all by its own whatever. And our research shows like, no, there's like more than one of them. They're fine. I think a lot of creatures don't survive well in any situations without some kind of social environment. They're animals that even have that kind of lifespan. Animals, especially mammals like whales and dolphins, are like capable of. This is a trigger warning. They're capable of suicide. So like if they're lonely, they won't be lonely for a ton longer.
What if it's like the Finding Nemo movie, and this thing is like Bruce the shark, and it's just this blue whale making friends with all of its little fishy friends?
Yeah, could be, but even Bruce the shark had a bunch of shark friends. So I don't know. I can't imagine this guy's on his own. It is sad that he sounds different than everybody else.
What do you think, Dan? You think this is a cryptozoological creature or just a blue whale that is mutated? This is a weird one, I know. This isn't
I
like
will be honest. It sounds like a siren. Like on that audio file, it doesn't sound like an animal.
Ooh.
It sounds very consistent to just like a mechanical siren going bump, bump, bump. Same exact tone.
Oh, you mean like
equal
Siren Head?
pacing.
So
like
Dan's
an
saying
actual
a Siren Head is real.
like honestly, I was gonna look up like military operations or stuff like that. Because let's be honest, if it's another country's military and they've got this thing that's basically sending out, because I mean we've got sonar. We know what that does. It detects things. If you've got a sonar in enemy waters, you're not going to go, oh yeah, by the way, that's us. Like, hey, sorry about that. Like, and it's going perfectly along. Based on what you said, it's going perfectly along the line of the United States Western seaboard.
That's true. And if you make it just to seem to be a whale. What do you think? I like Dan's theory on this one.
It's a cool theory. I just played the audio back. When you have the context, it's a very depressing sound. It's very heartbreaking now that I have like
and
the
see,
context
that's just
story.
it though. Is it's like you hear that story and you go, yes, that could be it. But if you did not know that and you just heard that pulsing sound at that specific like interval, it sounds like something that's putting out a sonar of sorts.
See, for me, I'm a believer of a lot of these things. I actually believe that this is probably a sad whale, which makes me even sadder because I love animals, and just the thought of this whale not being able to communicate with anyone and just going alone.
That's heartbreaking.
It is. That's why it's the loneliest whale in the world.
It's movie worthy. Benny, can I read you the last line of the characteristics on Wikipedia?
Okay. What's the
Calls
line?
picked up by a sensor in 2010 suggest there is more than one whale calling at 52 hertz.
Wait, there is? Where did you get that? On the wiki?
It was the last line of the Wikipedia and the characteristics.
I
just saw that.
So it's not so lonely, maybe. Hold on, let's look at the reference.
I was going to say, that's another possibility, is that it's a couple whales talking to each other.
Okay, so it's from one article in
it's the
2015, which states, maybe the world's loneliest whale isn't so lonely after all.
Oh my gosh.
That's a good title. That's a good title. Who's it? It's the
Strange song was
Smithsonian,
first
though.
heard in 1989 by a classified array of sensors, hydrophones, a place the array is partially... hold on!
Hold up. I
Whoa.
want to actually... hold on. Sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
This
Dan.
got so much more. Dan is onto something.
I was
Dan is
actually
onto
just
something. Hold
looking
on.
at it, that it's
you are
when it
watching
started.
live a discovery of a mythological, zoological, paranormal thing. A strange song was first heard in 1989 by a classified array of sensors, hydrophones spread across the floor of the Puget Sound by the Navy. They were originally supposed to pick up a rumble of Soviet subs, but the array was partially declassified, and researchers began to use it to listen to noises in the ocean, a place that is anything but silent. On December 7th, 1992, a technician noted a noise that appeared to be the song of a whale, but strangely, it was coming at the frequency of 52 hertz. Dan, you might be on to something. I thought this would just be fun to explain this creature and then see what you guys think about it, but...
You want to know something else? I don't know when exactly it was, but I do know that there have been countries that have put military operations on dolphins.
Yeah.
To go into enemy waters because
I think that was Austin Powers. They put them on lasers on the...
That's on lasers on sharks, but he doesn't actually get lasers, unfortunately. But anyway, that's it. It's an actual thing that I want to say it was the Japanese, but I could be wrong, that there were dolphins that were trained to basically go into enemy waters and detect things. And yeah, based on the timestamp of that, it very easily could be something like that. It very easily could be a sonar broke off and got eaten by a whale, and the whale just happens to be opening its mouth and the siren's coming out. But I legitimately, based on that sound, think it's a sonar.
You think it's a sonar? Okay. This article here continues to go on, stating that they believe it's a hybrid of a blue whale and another whale, so at least part of it is a blue whale because of the migratory patterns of it. And the critic is the one who said that he believes that maybe the other whales can pick up the 52 hertz, and that's why he's not so possibly lonely. So it's not, we haven't picked up other 52 hertz according to this article, but then maybe other whales are able to follow with your theory, Hassan, that he has somebody around him. Maybe there are other whales that have picked up the call.
It's just like a series of famous whales. It's like Moby Dick, the whale from the Bible, the fucking whale from Pinocchio, Monstro. They're just like all kicking it together. It's like, what if we have our own sound? What are you thinking? 62 hertz? I'm thinking 52. 52. It's like a little conversation. Yeah, that's the origin of that.
And just to give
this opened up a whole can of worms on this one.
Just add another onto the sonar. Lower frequency 2D sonar is a frequency of 50 kilohertz.
Oh.
So it's conveniently at a range for your theory to be sound.
Yep.
I think Dan likes this episode enough. He made a theory that somehow is coming true.
It's just what I do.
Dan actually discovered the whale years ago and set all of this into motion. This is a 20-year in the making plan.
He's actually the filmmaker.
This is how the documentary opens. Cold open. We argue. Is the whale real?
Number one search is the Loneliest Whale a military experiment?
Experience, dude. Is it a military experience to be a lonely whale?
Because it would actually be kind of funny and sad a little bit if this was like the training of the dolphins, but they did it with a whale. And they couldn't actually train it, so it's just got a sonar on itself, and it's just going in its standard migratory patterns. And the whale doesn't know because if it's at a frequency that whales can't hear. Like if they legitimately can't hear it, it's just a whale going about doing its own business.
You've brought up many points, and I think it's valid. I also think, dude, the ocean's scary. We shouldn't contemplate.
Oh yes,
it's a terrifying place. There's simply too much happening down there, and we know nothing of it.
Here's the worst part. I spent an hour reading up on this ahead of time, and I'm now down another rabbit hole, okay? So this gets even more crazy. That movie that is coming out stars the guy from Entourage. Here's the Kickstarter for it. Look, do you remember Entourage, the main guy?
Okay, no. Hold on.
It's the guy from Entourage. What is this? What hole have we stumbled down?
What the hell?
See?
This is getting so weird. I'm gonna look. Here's the thing. Technology has advanced. I demand a picture of this whale, or he does not exist. And it's the same thing like the Loch Ness Monster, which I wasn't there for that one. If we did that one, it's not real. Doesn't make
Hold
sense.
on. Can I throw another thing out to help with my theory? So in 2019, there was a beluga whale that had a harness that was believed to be trained by the Russian military.
Yeah. That's awesome.
I mean,
so Dan's
Operation
theory is
Whale
that
Part 2, their first one failed because they
loneliest
couldn't
whale
get
in
it
the
back.
world is actually a military experiment sent out, and now the guy from Entourage is kickstarting a film to find this military experiment whale.
If he mysteriously dies somehow, we know it's military. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying, if he somehow mysteriously dies.
The military gets bored. If you don't think they're training animals constantly to do things. I looked up dolphins. I looked up dolphins military because that's a great search. And it's military dolphins were used by the U.S. during the First and Second Gulf War and dates back to Vietnam. About 75 dolphins were trained. And then there's another thing that says dolphins have been regularly trained since 1959 to be companions for Navy SEALs.
Oh, I bet.
I mean,
if you think about it, it's so much easier to train an animal than to build and man some sort of underwater craft.
All right.
And you could just go, I'm going to put a camera on this guy with a little sonar. It'll go track this.
Are you telling me you can't just imagine a dolphin wearing a pair of dog tags?
I love that.
I can see it.
I actually more pictured just like a Navy SEAL on the back of a dolphin, and they're like swimming through. That's how they get across faster.
I will say this went in a totally different direction than I was expecting. I just thought we'd talk about the loneliest whale in the world for a little while and then get your opinions what you think it is. And now we've gone down our own conspiracy rabbit hole. So
I want to follow up on this when the movie comes out.
All right, so let's end today's episode with a nope or you believe it. Huston, do you believe in the loneliest whale on the world? That it exists in general? That you know what? Let's clarify this. Do you believe it's a whale?
Yeah, I think it's a whale.
Okay. Do you believe it's a military experiment?
No, I think it's just a fucking whale. It's just a whale with like other whales around it.
So you don't even believe it's lonely. You think it's just we just hear the other ones.
I don't. Yeah, I think that's so dumb. They've never gotten a picture of it. You can't.
All right, Dan, do you think the loneliest whale is a whale?
I think it could be, but I definitely believe it's a military operation.
Okay.
100%. I am sold on that theory based on so many different aspects, especially that it's the audio file that gave it away. The audio file fully gives it away because that is way too consistent of an actual siren than it is anything else.
When you first said siren, I thought you meant the mythological creature of the sirens, and I looked that up to give the explanation, but we'll do that on another episode. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode of Nope. Let me know if you enjoy us doing things like Loch Ness and Bigfoot, where we look at a more recent sighting, or if you like us deep diving into more recent new stuff that is kind of popping up into the zeitgeist and discussing whether or not it's a crazy military experiment from Dan or just Huston thinks everyone's lying.
You're all full of shit.